Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Find a local agent on Nationwide.com. By your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Huntington. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at bluejacketsbanking.com. Back here at Nationwide, Jackets and the Canadiens hook up for the second time this season. Montreal winning the first one in dramatic fashion, 5-3. More on that in a few moments. Starting goaltenders, Curtis McElhinney gets the start tonight. Sergei Bobrovsky a night off before the team heads to Ottawa tomorrow for that Sunday afternoon matinee. And at the opposite end, making his fourth start of the season, Peter Budaj. Canadians right back to Montreal after this one. They'll host the Rangers tomorrow night. Carey Price will be manning the net. Gord Dwyer, Brad Watson are the referees. Jay Scherer, Mark Shuchuk, the linesman. Tonight's telecast presented in high definition by Time Warner Cable. The Canadians wearing their road whites, the Jackets in their home blues, set for the opening faceoff, and the puck unfairly dropped. They'll do it all over again.
Good way to start the game. Everybody on edge, ready to go.
And from the faceoff, Cam Atkinson losing his stick just inside the line. Atkinson looking to make up for the miscue that cost the Jackets in overtime. Taking that high shot from the point, blocked. Lucic racing in for an unassisted goal to end overtime in the final minute. Moved by Budaj for Gachelniak. Out of the zone. This is Eller. Chipped in, pressed, back in the lineup after missing a number of games with a shoulder injury. And he immediately replaces young Gallagher, who is back at the hotel here in Columbus, suffering from the flu. Rust not expected to play until perhaps tomorrow night against the Rangers. In the lineup tonight to add some energy, in the words of Coach Terry. And we have yet to play a minute here. But a quick outlet pass by Josh Georges. R.J. Umberger sends it back to Wisniewski. Looks off his defensive partner, Ryan Murray. Puck turned over. Canadians march towards the net, but Umberger comes up with that loose puck and clears the zone. The Jackets have got to be proficient in their own zone and not turn that puck over, Bill.
Well, especially against this Montreal team. If you talk about it every night, the speed in the National Hockey League, this is one of the quickest teams there is.
And speaking of quick, Chaput moving in to Montreal territory. A little extra jump in his step tonight. He is a native of Montreal, actually the suburb of Ile-Bizarre. Takes the turnover there and rips it wide. And wouldn't tonight be the night to get his first NHL goal? Whoa. How about the Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer?
Well, you can expect some heavy hockey here tonight. Montreal, well, they've got speed. The Jackets need to play the game in inches, not feet. In other words, play along the wall. Perfect puck play has to come into play, and you've already mentioned the mistake last night. You learn from it, you correct it. And then all hands on deck. With Gaborik out, run 4 lines. You're in the second night of a back-to-back. You got to come out here with a little bit of energy and continue it on for 60 minutes.
And making the announcement that Gaborik would be gone from 4 to 6 weeks. Todd Richards also offering some good news, and that is that Boone Jenner will return to the lineup after his absence from a lower body injury Sunday against Ottawa. Jenner, incidentally, 2 power play goals, his first 2 NHL goals in Montreal against these Canadians back on the 17th of October. Jackets keep it in the zone on that turnover. Wristed high and wide of the net. Mark Letestu riding a 3-game assist streak. Canadians. Bourque sends it ahead. Briere, who missed a total of 12 games with concussion-like symptoms, played his first game the other night, which was a 2-1 overtime shootout defeat at home to Tampa. Savard fights off the traffic and clears the zone. Jackets carry in Anisimov with a wrist shot that's deflected off the stick of Subban. The 2 battle in the corner. Moved off the wall. Canadians look to clear the zone, and a cross-ice pass sails deep into Columbus territory. McElhaney is down, and he will hold on. Well, Michel Therrien, quite outspoken yesterday after practice. He says, I'm looking for more intensity. I'm looking for more effort from my team. I'm not happy with the effort in that loss the other night against Tampa, and thus the return of Crust Mill, expected to add that extra energy and likely physical play.
Yeah, they talk about competing, and you have to have guys in that lineup. Right now, by the talk, and we're talking to Marc Denis here today, he says, you know, everything has been to the outside. They're not getting into the middle of the ice. That's what the Jackets want to hear.
Desharnais chips it behind the net. That's Travis Mullen. Camped in front is White, and the puck whistling by the net and all the way back out to neutral ice. Markov on for Subban. Off a Canadian stick, that of Lights, and directed into Jackets territory as both teams change up. Ryan Johansson steps away from Prust. Dubinsky feeds ahead on that wing, looking for Atkinson. Played by Budaj. Rimmed around the wall. Jackets finish a check behind the net. Kachelniak overskates the puck in front. A shot! The one-timer by Johansson. I don't know if Budaj got a piece of that on the far side, or the puck bounced on Johansson.
It all started with that big check below the goal line. You get on top of the play, and that's what Johansson did, and then it was all Dubinsky after the fact.
Here comes Wisniewski across the line. Wisniewski, poke check there, and it's picked up by Prust. Prust, former New York Ranger, deals it on the wing, right back to Prust at center in front of the Canadiens bench. This is Kachelniak. A quick shot, juggled and held by McElhaney, and there's no further play. Well, we speak of Gaborik. Let's check out the Elkinow injury report on the Jackets side. Of course, Boone Jenner expected to return Sunday afternoon. Matt Galbert skated as well today. He may be a game or two behind. Nathan Horton back on the ice. And, of course, we mentioned Gaborik.
Yeah, and looking at the Montreal side of it, Emelin, he is very close. He is back skating with a hockey team, and he is on the road with this team as well.
And Emelin will play, I am told, tomorrow night as the Canadiens return home to face the Rangers in Montreal. Up high, Murray, Douglas Murray, the former San Jose Sharks, signed as a free agent. Jackets move up ice. Foligno, nice pass there. Chapeau with a shot, and the save by Budaj. Stepping up is Savard, and the shot is blocked. Jackets pressure. This line put together last night, and boy, were they effective in Boston. The Jackets totally dominated that third period. Players moved down in the lineup, others moved up. And one of them, Nick Foligno, the other, Chapeau, seemed to develop some chemistry instantly.
Well, there's some big bodies. And when they start to skate, they create their own space. But you can thank number 71. Look at the play coming off of the wing. He puts that pass between the stick and the skate. And then you can see coming in from that right point position, David Savard. But the one thing that Montreal will do, they will blanket up their defense. They are number one in the league in blocked shots, and the Jackets have to be aware of that.
Now the most effective line throughout the hockey game remains intact here tonight. And that's Derek McKenzie with Letestu and Como. Letestu setting up Como for the first goal. The Jackets had that lead in Boston last night. There's Como with a backhand that sails across the front of the net. Jackets pressure below the goal line. Subban takes a hit. Letestu shovels it free. In the slot there is McKenzie. Knocks it out of the air. Great work there. And now Subban driving McKenzie to the ice, and that's a penalty.
Oh, you bet it is.
A roughing call, and McKenzie,
he's smiling at him.
Will get back up with Subban heading to the penalty box, and the Jackets will get the first power play.
You gotta love McKenzie goaded Subban after the fact, and watch the hit, then watch the after effect right here. Tries to push and elbow McKenzie's head to the ice. And Mac at that time knew he had drawn a penalty and said, you're going to the box, partner. We've had a power play. Now the Jackets have to make him pay.
2 for roughing the call at 4:54. Jackets on the power play, tied for 18th coming in tonight at 17.5%. Canadians on the penalty kill, 6th best, 85.9%, 10 power play goals against in 71 shorthanded situations. Here's Wisniewski, top of the circle, drills it, and it was deflected up off the netting.
And that's going to be a key all night long for Wisniewski and the guys from that point. is to be able to make sure that they don't throw things into the pads. That was a learning experience last night. And you take that and you put it into your game tonight. And you can see right off of Umberger, who's in a great position to try to take away the eyes of the goaltender, up and out of play.
Umberger, 3 goals in the season. The Jackets would like to get him going. He continues to see major power play time. And you want to see him and the Jackets recorded. Puck drop back, Dubinsky. First across the line. Dubinsky. Fought off there by Georges. Hammered off the wall. Over the stick of Murray. How about Ryan Murray? His ice time is up considerably. Murray almost averaging now 21 minutes per game over the last 9 games. Carries through and across the line. That's almost 5 minutes more than he averaged in his first 9 games. And that just shows the confidence the coaching staff has in this youngster. Shot by Wisniewski. Budaj sees it through the crowd and will hold on. Now a little pushing and shoving. Jackets and Montreal certainly not happy with their latest results. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's contest. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Jackets losing a pair of overtime games on the road in the just concluded road trip. The Canadians 1-3-2 in their last 6. And in those 6 games, they've scored only 12 goals. Interesting to note as well, 40%, almost 41% of their goals this season have come on specialty teams. So power play, where they are second in the league, and short-handed goals, they have 3 of those. Eller, far side. Puck squirts free, played by Georges. Rimmed around the wall. Clearing pass. Gets by Jack Johnson. Mark Letestu pressured there by Eller in front of the Columbus bench. Less than 40 seconds left on the power play. And Pacioretty getting a stick on it. Play call.
The Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. And remember that Nationwide is on your side.
Another penalty coming. Eller will get the call and negate for hooking. So the Jackets will get 36 seconds of a 2-man advantage. There's the hook on Mark Letestu that draws the penalty. We got to look at it right there.
Yeah, you can see Letestu just trying to pull back. In fact, he wanted to go back up ice. And with the Eller, that stick parallel to the ice, not much he could do.
Dubinsky, Johansson, Atkinson, Jack Johnson, and Wisniewski. 5 Jackets out there. Markov and Georges with Plekanec for Montreal. Wisniewski, one-time Canadian, sends it up high. Dubinsky for Jack Johnson. Crowd trying to encourage the Jackets to fight through and get shots to the net. Cam Atkinson. Johansson. Johansson showing patience. Deals to Wisniewski. In front, Dubinsky can't pull the trigger. Final seconds. And the penalty to Subban. Jackets settle that puck down in front. Redirected. Budaj the save. And the rebound sent wide by Johansson. Outsteps Subban. Jackets still on the power play. Dubinsky in front. Budaj the stop. And the Canadians have cleared.
Well, again, the Jackets did the right thing. They got it low. They get a shot on goal. Looking backdoor. Going right through the seam. You really want to test that goaltender in that 5-on-3. You love to see shots. I'm one like the fans. You want to see that shot from the point, test the goaltender, look for rebounds.
Crushed up high. And Atkinson to pick it up. There's Wisniewski. Less than a minute left. And the penalty to Eller. Wisniewski on to Letestu. Right side, Jack Johnson. Johnson moving to the goal line. Douglas Murray defending. Up high, Wisniewski. Far side. Sent back to Wisniewski. Jack Johnson. Quick shot. Blocked there by Prust. Jackets get it back. And Umberger's pass back to Jack Johnson. Sails over his stick. And back into Jackets territory. Less than 30 left on the power play.
Yeah, the second effort was there on the play, but then you've got to finish it.
Puck carried in by Foligno. Jackets fail to keep it in. Defender Tootin down to 10 seconds of power play time. Cross ice. Murray steps up. Looks for Foligno. Head up. Steps away from White. Puck picked up behind that net by Bouillon. François-Bouillon sends it out to center. Eller out of the penalty box. Back at full strength. Now walks in. Tosses it out of that right wing. Pressure there by Ryan Murray. Jackets clear. R.J. Umberger with Foligno. A backhander handed right back to Josh Georges. Long left wing feed. That's Eller. Outside Jackets territory. Rennie Bourque trying to squeeze through along the wall. Galchenyuk from a sharp angle off the pad there of McElhinney. Backhanded, but right to Montreal. Canadians control up high. A quick shot by Diaz. Sails wide. Georges off the point. Fought off there along the wall by Como. In the high slot. Looking here for Georges. Josh Georges rifles one. Wristed wide. Far side again. This time Bourque. Diaz with a shot wide. Eller looking the backdoor play. And McElhinney was right there. And again, some pushing and shoving. Therrien challenging his hockey club this week. Looking for a little more physical play, a little more intensity. And the Canadians have come out with an edge. Montreal and Columbus here. Opening period of play. Well, tonight is Ask the Experts night. Here on Fox Sports Ohio and foxsportsohio.com. You can send your questions in. Social media night, to be sure. And here's the first question from Zeke Budd. I'm very pleased with the Dubinsky, Johansson, Atkinson line. Do you think it stays intact when Calvert and Jenner return? Bill?
Yeah, when they get back and healthy, again, that's what you evaluate. And I agree with Todd Richards. You look at each and every game, see how the team's doing, and then you make your adjustments accordingly. But losing a guy like Gaborik, now there's going to be some space for some guys to earn some ice time. Everything is earned on this hockey team. Nothing given.
Savard deals far side, but I would just add, Zeke Budd, I would think that if this line continues to produce, they'll stay together. Jenner, again, expected to come back Sunday against Ottawa. Calvert, perhaps taking a step back today, went awkwardly to the ice and was feeling it for some time here this morning. But on the road to recovery, perhaps some time on that road trip, he'll return. Jackets certainly look to get him. And Jenner back, not to mention Nathan Horton. Still waiting for his Blue Jackets debut. A centering pass by Pacioretty. Gets it right back below that goal line. Feathers a pass looking for Rennie Bourque. Played up high. Subban with a backhand. Briere cruising. Pacioretty digs it free. Briere all alone in front. Hangs on. I think McElhinney got just a piece of that in front of the net, and the Jackets will walk it out before Nikitin sends it into Montreal territory. That's Subban back. Chased by Dubinsky. Anxious moments around the Jackets cage. Johansson flips it away from Plekanec, and this one sails into the crowd. 9:27 left. A scoreless first period. The Canadians and the Blue Jackets from Nationwide.
Look at some of the NCAA connections in this game tonight. Again, none of them had a chance to play with each other. Again, Collins and Murray out of Cornell, the ECAC. Both of them played for championship teams. Jack Johnson, Max Pacioretty played at Michigan. Again, championship teams. And then you go to Boston College and what they've been able to accomplish. We know what Cam Atkinson was capable of doing. Brian Giunta, he was an All-American. One of the best that ever come out of Boston College. Both of them not very big, but also produce goals as well as assists.
Johansson fights off. Plekanec walks in. Budaj the stop. Plekanec bumping his goaltenders. The Canadians move out. Puck chipped by. The Jackets defender too. Jack Johnson taking a hit. Johansson cross ice. Johnson at center. Atkinson heads off to the bench. Johnson dumps it deep into Montreal territory. Diaz tosses to the far side. Giunta right back to Diaz. On to Georges. Georges, outlet left wing. Bourneval. He had a goal in Montreal in the first meeting. Giunta trying to dance free. Jack Johnson defending. Backhanded wide of the net. Picked up by Tootin. 8 minutes, 36 seconds left. Jackets send it up and out. Foligno off the bench. Left wing Eller gets behind the Jackets forwards, but rifles it wide of the net. Foligno will try again. His pass a little high there for Chaput. Reaching for it was Umberger. Can't make the play. Jackets chip it in on the second effort, and Markov circles the net. Paired with Subban. Markov dishes to his defensive partner. Subban lumbers through to center before sending it in. Markov, far side, Prust in pursuit. Sean Collins given an opportunity in the absence of Marian Gaborik. And if you're just joining us now, Gaborik lost to the Jackets Hockey Club for 4 to 6 weeks. Anisimov in full flight. Anisimov moves in with a backhand that sails high and wide. Injured on what was perhaps the final play in regulation. 10 seconds left. And a sprained knee will keep him out of the Jackets lineup for 4 to 6 weeks. Savard. Anisimov. Double team the Canadians and get it out. White carries that puck, sends it towards the net. Kick away from McElhaney. The Jackets are going to be penalized here for hooking, and Montreal will get their first power play.
Nice job there by McElhaney to stay with it.
Only 27, 2 minutes hooking.
That's referee Gordy Dwyer making that call. And you'll see the hook down in front of the net. And the one thing, and that's what Montreal has done here in period number 1. When they've had a hold of the puck, there's a lot of puck patience. In other words, they hang on, they read the hit, or they read the defenseman on top of them, and they'll go back the other way. And that's where the Jackets can spend better time in that offensive zone. Taking a page out of the Montreal Canadiens book to start this period.
Puck set to the point. Montreal second in power play efficiency. 17 for 72, 23.6%. Jackets come in tonight 23rd on the kill at 80.4%. Dealt to the corner, into the slot. Pacioretty looking for the handle. Jackets send it up. Knocked down there by Subban. Or Markov. That one hurt as he took a slap shot. High to the glove. Pacioretty will deal it back. Subban towards the net, redirected off the stick of Eller and the face mask of McElhaney. Backhanded, picked up there by Montreal. Gachelniak, far side. Gachelniak deals. Eller looks for Pacioretty. Quick shot by Gachelniak, and he rifles it wide of the net. Subban up high. Subban deals cross ice. Markov, Gachelniak. Markov now camped in front. Off McElhaney. Eller with a shot, and that's off the net. Picked up by Pacioretty. Great puck movement here by Montreal. Canadians hanging on to it. Comes back to Subban. Subban looks off Markov. Pacioretty. Gachelniak across the goal mouth. Through the paint. Out the other side. Canadians playing keep away right now. 46 seconds. Jackets looking to keep them on the perimeter. One-timer there, top of the circle. Save McElhaney. Rebound. Jackets converge in front of McElhaney. And McElhaney covers up.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens look like world beaters when they are moving the puck around. But the danger is to the outside right now, and the Jackets have done a nice job of keeping them there. Now, if you take a look, what they'll do is they'll slide people into the box, into that penalty-killing unit. And here, this is where, again, you got to have a defenseman like Tootin come up, mark up, take away that shot, help your goaltender out. You can see again, Galchenyuk finding his way off the boards, looking for rebounds.
Here's Savard. Ripped off the wall. Played up high and out. Backhanded there by Bouillon to the far side. Diaz back for Bouillon. Less than 30 seconds left on the power play. Diaz walks to his own line. Left wing feed. René Bourque puts the brakes on the half wall. Hands the puck off. Desharnais. Bourque played in front. Desharnais unable to get a stick on it. Sent back to Bouillon. Right side. Diaz at the goal line. Savard knocked down. Gets back up in front of Bourque. Down to 1 second. Out steps Murray. Diaz now. A quick shot. McElhaney the stop. 4 shots on that power play. Jackets shut the door on Montreal. 5:16 left. No score.
We're scoreless here at Nationwide. Craig Hartsburg coming off a nice penalty kill there. I like what they did there.
Well, they were under pressure. That's good. Obviously, a great power play over Montreal's side, but we hung in there. We kept it to the outside for the most part.
Second game of a back-to-back. Do you like the energy you're seeing so far, given that situation?
I think 5-on-5 we've been fine. Our power play sucked the life out of it. It was horrible, so we got to be a lot better in the power play.
Thanks, Coach.
That's where it's got to come back to right now. 5-on-5. There has to be some life back. How do you do it? Short shifts again. Get the legs going.
Gotta like the candid comments, Craig Hartsburg. Throwing it out there. Jackets ineffective on the power play and a 5-on-3 for considerable time. Got to get back into this hockey game here. A scoreless game, but as he says, the life sucked out of the hockey club after failing to score and really produce much on the power play. Chaput below the goal line. Away from Diaz. As I said, a little extra jump in his step here, playing against the club that he grew up watching. Puck thrown here to Wisniewski. Jackets look cross ice. Foligno. R.J. Umberger cruising. Umberger hanging on. Away from Plekanec. In front. Scores! Jackets take the lead. R.J. Umberger firing the puck towards the net. It was redirected. And the Jackets, after holding off Montreal with the extra man, get that goal. 5-on-5.
We talked about Montreal and how, again, they were just riding off their checks. And this is where 18 went to school. And then what's he do? He just forces the issue. He knows he's going to have a little net front presence. He directs it to the puck right from there and watch and see if it hits anything. If not, no, it's right up, right underneath, and through the 5-hole of the goaltender Budaj. And the Jackets on a, well, it's a simple play. Shoot the puck, and it pays dividends to make it a 1-0 game.
So, the Jackets come off the mat here and take the lead 1-0. R.J. Umberger, who, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, is one player the Jackets have got to get going. That's his 4th of the year. The Canadians come back to Chelniak. On to Dubinsky. Brandon Dubinsky skates out of the zone, steps to center. The C's part, walks in and rifles it wide of the net. 3:50 left. R.J. Umberger, 4th of the year, being announced here to the crowd at Nationwide. Truck from center, sends it off the wall. Jackets get the first goal for the 3rd straight game, make that 4th straight game. What they've got to do here now is build on that lead. Foligno and Wisniewski draw the assists for Wisniewski. That is his 12th point in the last 12 games. Sean Collins keeps the feet moving. Steps away from Briere. Briere comes back, rims it around the wall. Played up high there by Nikitin. Thrown behind the net. Collins. Briere is there. Pressoir-Bouillon out-muscled by Jared Bull. Bull to Savard. Savard walks up off the goalpost. Savard had Budaj beat. And it went right off the iron. Nikitin steps up, fakes the shot, and falls. Meantime, the Jackets score. A delayed penalty. Bull will get credit for his 2nd of the season, I believe. Bull, who was in the paint, was able to redirect it by Budaj. And confusion in the Canadiens' end. And the Jackets get that all-important 2nd goal.
Well, the giggles are there as well. Why? It's how the puck entered the net. Nikitin gets into that shooting lane, and look at, he just trips over himself. And then it's chipped, and it's hit with a stick. It bounces in the blue of the crease. And we'll see exactly who does get credit, but Bull should, as it went off of the defenseman's stick and into the net. That, if that isn't a highlighter someplace tonight, I don't know what is. And you can see Murray forcing Bull. I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of goals in my day, but that one is going to bring about a lot of laughs for a lot of time.
Now the goal is under review here presently. A little discussion going on. Gordy Dwyer having words with Gianna, who is arguing here, but I think to no avail. All goals are, of course, reviewed. And Dwyer, who made the call on the ice, pointed to the net. The Jackets lead 2-0. And looking at that last replay with Bull in the blue paint, it didn't look like he really touched that puck. So we'll wait for it. A penalty was going to be called. I don't think Nikitin fell as much as he was tripped. And that delayed call. Play continued. And the Canadians never touched the puck. And, of course, the Jackets flipped it up and out a little Keystone Cops activity in front of the Montreal net. 2-0. 2.5 minutes left. Mullen deals to the point. White with a shot that sails wide. Off the point there is Georges. Along the wall, Georges now fires a shot. Pat St. McElhinney. Anisimov gets credit for the goal. His flip shot beats Budaj. And, of course, the Canadians arguing goaltender interference, but Bull was just in the blue paint, nowhere near Budaj. Nikitin and Savard draw the assists. Savard on that same shift, hitting the goalpost after beating Budaj. Keep an eye at Bull one more time here in the goal crease as we get one more look at it.
And you can see Dougie Murray just helping Bull out. And again, you see the goaltender go down. There isn't a thing that Jared Bull can do. Doug Murray, he instigated it. Bull was the recipient of the check, knocks down Budaj, and then it deflects off the defenseman's stick. And Anisimov, yes, will get credit. Make it a 2-0 game.
Those goals come a minute 36 seconds apart. Canadians find Gachelniak at center. Backhands it off the wall. And the puck picked up there by Teuton. Chaput. All over Eller. Some help there from Fedor Teuton. Eller gets back on his feet. Tossed behind the net. And play called with a slashing penalty upcoming.
Well, fans, join the battle. Be at Nationwide Arena on Wednesday, November the 27th. The Jackets are going to take on the Nashville Predators, 7 o'clock game. Then again on Friday the 29th, they'll host the Edmonton Oilers at 7. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com. The Preds and then the Oilers.
Well, we've got coincidental penalties coming here. Jack Johnson and Prust, who's not at all happy, throwing his gloves up against the glass. A slashing and cross-checking penalty. Cross-checking to Jack Johnson. Slashing to Prust. Penalties come at 18:34. Stay with us. First intermission. We get the impressions of former Blue Jacket Jody Shelley, who's joining us tonight on the telecast. His first period impressions. You heard Craig Hartsburg tell Dave Metzel the Jackets had to pick it up after a disappointing power play. And a penalty kill as the Canadians dominated. Jackets fought it off. And then 5-on-5 scored a pair of goals a minute 36 seconds apart. And have a 2-0 lead. All rights to the broadcaster reserved. Any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of the broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited.
Well, on the shot clock right now, Montreal Canadiens. Again, they have 13 shots on goal. But the Blue Jackets with 9, but the key stat tonight, Jackets scoring 2 goals. That's what you want to start. Montreal Canadiens a +7 when it comes to period number 1. That is their best period of the year.
Here comes Johansson, and it's chopped away into the final minute of play. Diaz sends it far side. Bouillon back for Diaz. Diaz. Bouillon. Canadians right now content on running out the clock here. 40 seconds left. Pacioretty can't get anywhere. Jackets. Cam Atkinson to the goal line. Johansson hangs on, shows patience, fires a shot off Budaj. Rebound in the slot, but it bounced on Atkinson in front. Atkinson steps away from Diaz. Jackets looking to build on the 2-0 lead. Off a stick and played by Teuton back at center. Walks into his own zone. Canadians change up. Right wing feed. Johansson late in the shift will drop it back for Teuton. Teuton better be smart. Gachelniak the steal. Walks in and scores. That is what you don't want to happen in the final minute of play. And how many times have the Jackets been victimized by a turnover in the final minute or two? And that's got to bring the Canadiens bench to life.
Well, right there again, you just died on the vine. You get a bouncing puck, but everything forced back. As soon as they weren't able to keep control in that offensive zone, you have to make sure that you get on the high horse and get back and help out. In that case, that puck continued to bounce. And Galchenyuk, we talked about him earlier on. The 19-year-old got on, the legs moving, beats the defense, and then finishes it off for his fourth.
Turned around on the play there was Ryan Murray. Teams remain 4-on-4. And the horn goes to end the opening period. Jackets giving up that late goal at Anisimov. Credit for the second Blue Jackets goal. Following the goal by R.J. Umberger, Gachelniak late in the period. Unassisted at 19:52 with 8 seconds left. And after one, it's Columbus 2 and the Canadiens 1. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio. Brought to you by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. And by Ticketmaster. Score. Get the only NHL tickets sold by fans and verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey. No hassle. Right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. Teams are back on the ice. R.J. Umberger and Artem Anisimov with the goals for Columbus. Teams have changed ends, and we are underway with Dubinsky winning the second period faceoff. Murray dropping it back. Dubinsky circles his own net behind McElhaney. Teams remain 4-on-4 for the next 15 seconds, and then Preston Jack Johnson will step out. The teams will be back at full strength. Atkinson behind the net for Dubinsky. Dubinsky away from Markov, and Markov able to fish that puck free. Has it at the goal line. Throws it ahead. Out come both Prust and Jack Johnson, and the Jackets send it wide of the net. Prust drops it back. Approaching the 1-minute mark. Subban steps away from Foligno. A right wing feed. Chaput attempted to get a stick on it. Murray does. Around the net, rims it around the wall, waiting for it patiently. Umberger unable to play it. Jackets fail to clear. Prust fires a shot, gloved and held by McElhaney. Our IGS Energy performers through 20 minutes of play. Two Blue Jacket goal scorers in the first, RJ and Artem.
Well, RJ just fired it off the boards, and Artem, well, it deflected off a defenseman's stick. For the Montreal Canadiens, they weren't Picassos by any means, but any way you look at it, it's a 2-1 game.
RJ just moments ago unable to clear the zone, which led to a quality shot for Montreal. The Jackets have got to get those pucks first time, Bill, out of the zone.
Well, it's a number 2 key of the game tonight. Perfect puck play. You have to manage the puck. And it's a 1 goal tonight by Montreal. Again, a turnover in the offensive zone relates to a goal at the other end.
Far side. That's Georges. Off Eller. Jackets. Letestu stepping up Tootin. The shot is blocked. McKenzie was there to dig that puck free to Letestu, and Tootin shot blocked. Jackets keep it in. No. Canadians walk it out. Here's Gachelnyuk, the goal scorer. In the final seconds of the opening period, takes the pass, looks for Preston the slot. The pass misses. Jackets hand it right back. Bouncing puck played in front of McElhaney. Johnson retreats with Eller on the forecheck. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Feder Tootin, outlet pass, picked up here by Como. Chips to the corner. Foligno in pursuit. Como heads off. Jackets get some fresh legs on. Subban. Head up. Lifts it high. Up on that left wing. Jackets Savard attempted to knock it down and clear the zone. Foligno will walk it out. And away down the right side goes Umberger's Foligno. Moves to the center of the ice. Drop past Chaput. Chaput in front. And unable to get a stick on it. Savard, who had pinched in off the point. Savard is skating better than I've ever seen him skate last night and again here tonight.
Well, he is making plays in that offensive zone, and it's great to see. You could tell with his past. He won the Canadian Hockey League Defenseman of the Year. It shows his talent.
Pacioretty. There's no doubt his foot speed has improved this season. He played very solidly in the early going before going into a bit of a slump. Here he joins the rush as Foligno dumps in, and now Savard will head off to the bench. Lost some 8 pounds. He certainly has some offensive flair to his game, but the way he has skated last night in Boston, again here tonight, has been the best that we've seen from Savard. Anisimov down that right wing to center. Losing the puck now. White will chip it right up out of the Canadiens bench, just avoiding his #1 goaltender, Carey Price.
Well, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, get 3 takeaways from tonight's Blue Jackets Canadiens game. Check out Sam Amico's NBA Today notebook for the latest news and rumors around the league, and head to the Ohio Sports Buzz section. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com.
Mechanics and Johansson set for this faceoff. Giada and Dubinsky having a few words. That would be an old rivalry. While one was a member of the Devils, the other the New York Rangers. No strangers to one another.
Oh, they know each other very well.
There's Atkinson on the right wing. Hands the puck to Johansson. Walks in and across the line. Johansson to the corner. Dubinsky finishes a check behind the net. Outlet pass here on the right wing. Canadian. Up high, Georges. The puck ricochets off a leg and wide. Now Johansson. The stick was held there briefly by Giada. The puck fired back in to Columbus territory. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Jackets walk it out. Murray on here to Dubinsky. Atkinson cruises to the net. The shot by Dubinsky, stick to side. Atkinson unable to get to it. Georges tosses to the near corner. Race for the puck along the boards. Letestu able to fish it free. McKenzie will play it at the goal line. Looks in front for Como. McKenzie keeps the feet moving. Shovels it behind the net. Letestu's on the puck. Letestu deals up high here to Tootin. Cross ice. Johansson drills it. That's wide. Or Johnson, excuse me. Now cycling out of the corner. McKenzie. Camped in front, Letestu. McKenzie again, this time. The shot is blocked, and the Canadians walk it out of the zone. Eller sends it off the Jackets defenseman, Tootin. Quickly feeds up ice. Como with Letestu and McKenzie. The three. Locked deep into Montreal territory. Johnson off the point. Back here for Como. Off a leg. That of Bourque. Jackets chip to the far side, and Foligno, who comes off the bench, plays it. Foligno, a little give and go. There's Jack Johnson, and he sends it wide. Now Foligno from Chaput. Chaput moves into position. Knocked down there by Bouillon. Off his skate, out of the zone. Canadians from center. Rennie Bourque drills it. Shot blocked by Jack Johnson. Another attempt. This time McElhaney was there. Now Foligno. Dishes. Nikitin back to Foligno. Chaput waits patiently at center ice. Humberger on the left side. Canadians gain the zone. A quick shot blocked by Nikitin as he dropped in front of Bourque. Up high. That's Markov. Rimmed around the wall. Reaching it for there was Desharnais. Can't get a stick on it. Canadian center to Desharnais, and it sails by both Desharnais and Subban and back to the Montreal line.
Well, the Jackets have to be smarter right now in line changes in period 2.
Here's Pacioretty walking in, out of the net. Not much of an angle, but McElhaney able to glove it and holds on.
Well, 'tis the season to give the gift of hockey with the Blue Jackets Holiday Pick'em Pack, and that starts at just $89. What's it get? Well, how about 2 tickets to 2 games of your choice and a player autograph puck, all packaged in a holiday gift box. Call 1-800-NHL-COLS or visit BlueJackets.com/holiday pack to buy yours today.
Chipped off the wall, played at center. Collins dumps it in to Montreal territory. Bull finishing a check there on Douglas Murray. Those two got tangled up on what proved to be the second goal of the hockey game. Now down that right side with speed, Briere had it knocked away. Wisniewski up along the boards. It was fished free for White. Can't make a play. Cross ice. Bull will take it from Anisimov and dump in. And Bull comes together there with Murray. Murray going back at the Jackets winger. Douglas Murray added to provide some grit on that Montreal blue line. 13.5 minutes left. Outlet pass in full flight. This is Dubinsky. Dubinsky away from Subban. Chips to the corner. Markov hammered to the ice. That hurt Markov. Try to shake it off as the Jackets dump in. Markov this time away from Atkinson. Left wing feed. Knocked down there by Proust. Kachelnyk. A quick feed. Subban. Jackets pressure. And Cam Atkinson's going to get a penalty here for holding. Atkinson gets the arm on Subban. And the Canadians will get another power play. Their second of the night when we come back. Second period. Blue Jackets in front 2-1. It's Ask the Experts night here on Fox Sports Ohio and foxsportsohio.com. You can send your questions in. This one from Frank in Gahanna. Which forward has impressed you the most? You know what? This is a very, very easy question to answer. The Jackets' most consistent player all season long, without question, in my opinion, Brandon Dubinsky. Dubinsky saw a point-scoring streak snap last night. but he still has 12 points in his last 10 games. He has been a vocal leader. He has certainly taken it to the next level by backing up what he has said. And as the Jackets are killing off a penalty here right now to Atkinson for holding, I've got to say Dubinsky the best, and he's out there right now on the penalty kill. Puck carried in by Briere. Briere sends it up high. Markov. Subban waits patiently. He'll get it now. Incidentally, Atkinson not serving the penalty, had a skate problem, and had to retreat to the dressing room, and it's a power play goal to tie it up. A bouncing puck in front of McElhaney, and the Canadians are able to drive home the rebound. And Montreal has tied it up.
Well, there's an example of a power play where they shoot the puck, and it's not hard. They get it on net, and then look at it. Where's in one save? There's two saves. And again, they just continue to pepper the pads of the goaltender, and then they have support around the net. Look at Galchenyuk on the backside, Ehlers on the other side, Briere's in the slot. The defensemen are on the point. They're letting the shots go, but they have net front coverage from each post to the slot, and that's what it takes to score goals in the power play.
Well, you can see why the Canadians have scored 17, make that 18 power play goals now. Number 2 in the league. Lars Eller with his 7th. And we have a tie hockey game. And again, how big now is that last minute goal, 1952 by Galchenyuk. So the Jackets have seen a 2-goal lead evaporate. Time to turn it back on here.
The assist number 48, Daniel Briere, and number 79, Andrei Markov.
Markov and Briere draw the assists on the power play goal at 7:34 by Eller. Diaz. Goal over there by Como. Canadians send it the length of the ice, and it's icing.
What happens when college football's most storied rivalry isn't decided on the field? Tiebreaker, a Big Ten Network documentary that examines the memorable 1973 Ohio State-Michigan 10-10 tie and the controversy that followed that would change college football forever. Don't miss Tiebreaker, the game, the vote, the legacy, premiering Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern on BTN. Check your local listings.
Loose puck in the corner. Umberger tried to dart around the net, but it deflected off his stick momentarily. No one knew where that puck was. The Canadians, as a result, able to get to it and clear the zone. Now, Foligno in pursuit, played by the Canadians. And outlet pass quickly. Budaj, last line of defense, watched as his team effectively moved up ice. And that's it. You've got to make that first pass out of the zone and make it quick. And that's what the Canadians have been able to do. Puck thrown up high. Markov fumbles it. Knocked away by Umberger. R.J. Umberger with Subban trying to come back. Umberger, oh my, doesn't even get a shot away.
Well, again, that's where, again, you got to bear down and keep the game simple. Get it to the net. The fans certainly not happy. Umberger's not happy. And you have a play like that and you're breaking up the ice, shoot it off that inside leg. Just direct it to the net. Force the goaltender to play it. But they did a nice job in their own zone. He uses a good stick. He's got a good head of steam. This is where you lean in with his strength. Subban, he is coming in, trying to take away that space. You can let him go off that back end as well as anybody.
Canadians come away, going wide there. Moving into the slot, backhanded. McElhaney down, and the puck just trickles wide of the open corner. And the Jackets are, again, going to be forced here to take a penalty as play got scrambly once more in their zone. This time it's Tootin going to go after holding.
Well, there it is. He's got a hold of the stick inside, and that's an automatic. You lose positioning on your man, you have one thing in mind, and that's desperation, and that's what he does to Rene Bourque. He basically saved a goal. So good penalty? Yeah, it is a good penalty. But poor positioning coming back into your own zone where you get your shoulders turned against a guy like Rene Bourque, you're going to end up drawing penalties.
Rimmed around the wall. McKenzie in pursuit. Budaj drops it back. Markov, the long stretch pass. Thrown onto that left wing. Canadians 1 for 2, 6 shots, 4 of them coming on the first power play. Mark Letestu able to keep it away from the Canadians. And now Subban will move up ice. A minute 35 left. Looks to the left wing. Galchenyuk. A pass moved effectively there by Dubinsky and cleared on the backhand back into Montreal territory. Jackets change things up on the penalty kill. Long stretch pass here. That's Pacioretty, 67, not 27, and fired high into the glove of McElhinney.
Well, before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Let's go places.
9:52 left. A minute 14 in the Tooten penalty. Desharnais chased from the circle. Bourque moves to the left side. Desharnais the right. And Pacioretty will take that face-off. Anisimov hard off the wall and effectively sends it back into Montreal territory. Budaj out, and he'll tee it up for Bouillon. Anisimov, after the face-off, heads off to the bench. Left wing feed. Subban hangs onto that puck. Pacioretty locking up the half wall. Desharnais, quick shot, deflected and wide. Standing up on the edge of the goal crease, McElhinney. Pacioretty walks down that right side, sends it to the goal line. Canadians walk out of the corner. Quick shot, Subban, and on glance right off the pad of McElhinney this time. Foligno will walk it out, steps to center, and then dumps it the rest of the way. Fresh legs come on for the kill. Less than 30 left on the power play. Subban skating out of the zone, steps to center. Subban across the line. Swept behind the net. Wisniewski will play it, rimming around the wall, up high. Canadians unable to keep it in. McKenzie sends it to center. Subban will take it there. Subban, left wing feed. It glanced off the stick of Letestu. Played down to 2 seconds. One out steps Tooten. Jackets back at full strength. Giada plays it off that right wing wall. Montreal with 2 shots on the just completed power play. Centering feed. This is Como. Handing to Letestu. The 2 cross the line. Como in pursuit. Como got the Jackets going to the first goal of the game last night on a pretty pass from Letestu. Collins now in pursuit of the puck. Collins for the moment taking the place of Derek McKenzie on this line. Thundering hit there by Como. And that got the crowd excited. Bourneval just hammered. That could be the hit of the night. Up on that left wing, across the line, Plakanitz. He sends it wide, right wing. Diaz hammered there by Chaput. Jackets going to the body. Eller drops it back. Markov with a shot. That's deflected off the netting and on the play. 7:43 left. A thundering hit in Montreal territory. Como on Bourneval.
It's a 2-2 hockey game. What do you need to do to get the edge back here, Dan?
I think, as long as we get pucks deep and we hang on to it, that's the key. I think if you try and make too many plays into the middle against these guys, they're going to pick up passes and go the other way. They're very an opportunistic team. They're fast, they're small, but they're very skilled, and they can capitalize when you give them an opportunity.
Shots at a premium. Something you guys need to pick up.
Well, yeah, they're a shooting team. Obviously, on the back end, they got some heavy shots, some good vision to get it through. And, there's no such thing as a bad shot as far as we're concerned.
No, you got to get the wind back in the sail here right now. And then you lose a battle off the faceoff. That's where it starts.
Shot. That's number 10 this period. Montreal has outshot the Blue Jackets 10-1 in the second period.
Back to period number 1.
11 advantage.
Back to period number 1. 19 minutes of Jacket hockey where they basically dominated play. One play turns it around. Now they've got to find a way to get some air back in the sails. Well, fans experience a Blue Jackets game in style with Nationwide Arena Luxury Suite. Entertaining in a suite with the Blue Jackets game means the finest in personalized service, comfortable seating, ample meeting space, and privacy. For more information, contact the Blue Jackets Group event specialist. You can call 614-246-PUCK, or you can visit bluejackets.com/suites.
David Savard. Another solid game here tonight. R.J. Umberger, Foligno, and Chaput jump into the zone. Umberger unable to play that puck, and the Canadians, as a result, able to quickly clear, but they send it the length of the ice looking for that stretch pass, and they're called for icing. Now here's a familiar face, and talking to his general manager, Marc Bergevin, the former NHL player turned GM here at Montreal, saying, take a look, it's Movember, and even Gerard's got the mustache going here right now.
Yeah, you go back to his Detroit days. Old Spuddy, his nickname. He always had a stash. Shaved it off when he came to the Columbus Blue Jackets. He says he can't wait till November's over. He wants it gone.
Mark Bergevin said the same thing to me during the intermission, saying, this thing is itchy, but we'll keep it. Far side of the ice. Jackets pressure. They have not had a shot on goal in more than 8.5 minutes of play. We mentioned, but one shot this period. In comparison, the Canadiens have had 12. Off the boards. Bourque. Quick shot. It gets by McElhaney and glanced right off the post. Waved off by the referee, who had the perfect positioning on it. The far side of the ice. Up high. Shot towards the net. Right now, the Jackets are back on their heels. The Canadiens carrying the play. Long shot, Plekanec. R.J. Umberger hangs onto it. Foligno looking for it. It was set off the wall. Now the Jackets will change up. The energy line comes out here now. The one that certainly sparked the hockey club yesterday in Boston. Letestu, McKenzie, and Como. Right off the iron. This one remains tied.
2-2 hockey game here at Nationwide Arena. We're joined by Columbus Crew head coach Greg Berhalter, brand new head coach of the Crew. Welcome to Nationwide Arena, the Blue Jackets.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
What type of things are you working on? I know you've only been on the job for a couple of weeks with the Crew.
Right, we're looking at the roster. We're looking at preseason training camp and new players.
You know, a lot of hockey players play soccer. Does that go the other way around? Any soccer players chase the puck around?
I'm not too sure of that one. Maybe.
Coach, welcome to Columbus.
Thank you very much.
Now, I don't think so. I don't think there's many soccer players around the world that have even tried this game. And if they have, they probably wouldn't admit it to their coach.
Right side, moving in, backhanding it, but wide. Canadiens with another glorious opportunity, and that is Bournival on the left wing after the backhand attempt. McKenzie in pursuit. Subban defending. Thrown to the far side. Bournival ridden off by Letestu. Murray. Wisniewski. Left wing, McKenzie will dump in. Toss to the far side. That's Markov. Stepped into there by Como, and he's hitting any white jersey he can find. Left wing, White. Skates through. Lumbers into the zone. Tootin defends. Fought off. Loose puck. Jack Johnson. Hands to Tootin. Right back to Johnson. 4:42 left. Canadiens with a lone goal here in the second period. A power play goal. Tied at 2. Georges hit there by Atkinson. This is Briere moving into the zone. Top of the circle. Briere, wrist shot. Ricochets to the corner. White. On for Travis Moe. Briere throws it into the high slot. Jackets will move it out of the zone. Atkinson speeds down that right wing. He's across the line. Chips it by the defender. Diaz below the goal line. Johansson trying to get a stick on it. White is there. Diaz picks up the loose puck, and Mullen attempting to clear. Turned over. And now Johansson slides it in front. Ever alert there was Budaj to sweep it away.
Well, it all started. David Savard come in from his right point position. And again, the forward filled his lane, and they made something happen.
Far side. Bull waits for it. Jared Bull out of the zone. Loose puck picked up by Subban. On here to Prust. Prust rifles in. Eller in pursuit. Savard chips it free. Nikitin.
Here we go.
Tips it ahead. Now Bull's going to go here with Prust. This is the first fight in several games for Jared Bull. Prust just returning to the lineup. Missed 11 games with a shoulder problem. He'll get a test here right now with that shoulder.
Yeah, you go back to October 19th when he hurt that shoulder, and again, you could see Jared Bull. He looked Prust down. He wants to get something going right now for his team with 3:34 to go in this period. And right now, well, he does a nice job. Prust just hangs on. So that all started with 40. He had his mind made up when he jumped over the boards. Something has to go here right now. Things are quiet. There's the hit. And look at him look. Come on. Let's go. Rust is trying to watch the play. Nice job by Jared Bull.
16:26, the time of the 5-minute major penalties. And Aaron Portzline writing the other day in the Dispatch about Jared Bull picking his spots as far as fighting. Says, I don't need to fight all the time, and I'll do it when it's appropriate. And I guess he felt that was the appropriate time with his hockey club kind of back on their heels. Only one shot on goal here in the second period.
You know, we're getting outshot 13-1 in this period as well, and that's again just not it's not Blue Jacket hockey. It should be hard to play against. Get the crowd involved. But it starts with that skating game. See a lot of guys standing around. Same thing on that 5-on-3.
Here's a turnover. Pacioretty walks in, sends it wide. McElhaney is back on his feet as the Jackets clear the zone, or do they? It's back in Columbus territory. Left wing Foligno. He'll steer it deep. Subban looks as Anisimov comes. Markov off the wall. Pacioretty can't get a stick on it. Foligno, good work along that wall. Gets it to Umberger in the slot. Chopped it towards the net. And sticked aside by Budaj, who has some words for the official. Felt that he's getting too much attention for the Blue Jackets opposition in front of that net. There's a shot, juggled and held by McElhaney. 2:44 left.
Hey fans, make your plans now to get your group on board the Blue Jackets Fan Express. Bring your group to Nationwide Arena, and you can do that in style. For more information, call 614-246-PUCK or go to bluejackets.com. So tonight, the Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity from Ohio State rode the Blue Jackets Fan Express to Nationwide Arena. They're having a great time in the building tonight.
Diaz at the line. Backhand to the head. Briere in pursuit. Gets an arm around the Jackets defender, Wisniewski. Undetected by the official. McKenzie. On here to Letestu. Murray joining the rush. Chip to Murray. Murray on the left wing. Looks to the point. Quick shot. McKenzie in front. Como spins, turns, and fires it wide. Budaj may have got a pad off that one. Great work on that rush by the Jackets. Here they come again, and it's the same line that we saw ignite the club last night. The line of McKenzie, Letestu, and Como. Wisniewski in front, chip there, and alertly by McKenzie. Letestu will sweep it back behind the net. Less than 2 minutes left here in the second period. Eller. That's that puck behind the net from Bouillon on to Diaz. Diaz off the wall, looking up high. And Galchenyuk unable to make the play. Jackets under control. That's Murray. Long lead pass for Dubinsky. And Dubinsky in the slot off the glove of Budaj as Atkinson let one fly. That was the best scoring chance for the Jackets here in the second period. Meantime, Plekanec chips it by Tootin. Bornabal tries to make the play. Walking out of the corner. Gianta. Cross ice Plekanec. Plekanec plays it off that board. Atkinson. Left wing, Dubinsky. Dubinsky out of the zone. Chipped ahead, Chaput in pursuit, but it'll be Subban dumping it right back in on the backhand. 1 minute left.
1 minute of play remaining in the period.
Jackets walk dangerously in front of their own net. Flipped up and out by Dubinsky. And played by Bouillon deep in Montreal territory. Redirected on that left wing by Pacioretty. Johansson, or rather Jack Johnson. Played there by Chaput. Reaching for it, Foligno. Nick Foligno behind the net, too. Gets between the two Montreal defensemen. And quickly played there by Georges. Late in the period. Carried in by Desharnais. Desharnais knocked off the puck. Jackets Foligno looking for the handle. So too is Umberger, and Anisimov chips ahead. Georges able to send it deep into Jackets territory with some help. Nikitin quick to clear. This should pretty well do it. As the puck's fired in, played by Nikitin. And there's 9/10 of a second left. And we'll get basically a drop of the puck. They're going to end the period, I think. The official goes over. There's the horn. needless to drop the puck for 9/10 of a second, so Gord Dwyer says, run out the clock. And indeed they do. A period dominated by Montreal, but the Jackets still very much in this one. After 40 minutes of play, the teams are tied at 2. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio. Brought to you by Roush Honda. For the best deals on new wheels, it's Roush Honda. And by AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Back here at Nationwide, getting set for third period play. Teams are tied. And now tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we head to Ottawa, where the Jackets will be come Sunday afternoon here on Fox Sports Ohio. They are playing host to the Boston Bruins. We pick up the action in the first. Boston's in front, 1-0.
Yeah, Louis Eriksson got on the board right away. And it wasn't long after, 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and Brad Marchand allowed to walk down Main Street. And he rifles a wrist shot high over top of the glove to make it a 2-0 game. And then at 19:10, 50 seconds left in period number 1, it is Chris Neal, an unassisted goal. Again, the power of the wrist shot once again. They pull it within 1. Another late goal against the Bruins.
And just an update on Marchand. After scoring that goal, he blocked a shot off the stick of Dennis Seidenberg, his teammate, and had to be helped off the ice. And at last report had not returned. Our AEP power play summary. To this point in time, a power play goal by Montreal in the second ties up the game. 8 shots for the Canadians. Eller with the goal number 7. Jackets 0 for 2, and that included a 5-on-3 of considerable length. Set for third period play. Plekanec losing the draw there to Johansson. We are underway. And a bouncing puck sails into Montreal territory. Jackets of late has not been victimized by second period play. Not that they gave up more than just the 1 goal, but second periods have been awfully difficult on the Jackets throughout the season. And certainly the case when you look at the territorial advantage that Montreal had. But the Jackets are still very much in this one. And that is a building block with a 2-2 tie in the early moments of the third.
Yeah, you go back to that Washington game. I thought that was one of their better periods. And then in Boston, they followed it up.
Long lead here for Eller, and it's off the stick of Wisniewski and out of play.
Well, after every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game, talks to the players and the coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com.
Jackets defend. Ryan Murray, Wisniewski are on the points, and it was Wisniewski handing here to Ryan Murray, who, by the way, leads all Blue Jacket players in time on ice. Again, the coaching staff showing more and more confidence in this 20-year-old rookie with each passing game. A nice feed here for yet another rookie in Chaput. Offside the call. Foligno walking in. Chaput. And Foligno collide. Fortunately, no damage done.
No, that's Murray right there. And again, he does a nice job of just calming the play down. There isn't a bad pass coming off the number 27 stick. It finds its tape, and then he gets himself into position to get a puck back. And that growth and trust with a guy like Craig Hartsburg that's known that young man since he's been 16 years old, that certainly helps.
Puck fired in. Far side, Letestu can't get to it. Diaz able to keep it away. Puck moved by Georges. Shoveled on the backhand. McKenzie had his stick on it briefly. Letestu battles along the wall. Gets it to Como deep. Rimmed around the wall. Murray up high. Murray throws it back behind the net. Como attempts to center it. Now walks away from Diaz. Back here for Murray. Murray floats one in. Deflected off the stick of Letestu and wide. Jackets throw it back behind the net. Far side. Murray in off the point. Murray will drop it back for Como alertly. Retreating behind the defender. Now Georges. On there for Diaz. Diaz up the right wing boards. Rennie Bourque bumping Murray. Stepping up now is Foligno, who's now riding a point scoring streak. Another assist here tonight. Left wing. Goal and assist the last 2 games. Reaching for it there. Can't make the play. Pacioretty steps to center. Pacioretty dancing away from Chaput. Pacioretty backhands right in on McElhaney, steered to the corner. Nikitin quickly on it, steps away from White, hence to Savard. Quick feed, R.J. Umberger stepping up. Douglas Murray. Jackets battle along the boards. Officials say move it along. No less than half a dozen players trying to fish that puck free. Bouncing puck, Foligno. Away from Murray. Chaput in pursuit. He can fly. It's moved quickly there by Bouillon for White. 2.5 minutes plus gone here in the third. Foligno finishing a check, far side. Back off the boards. Briere tried to get a stick on it. Jackets pursue the puck in neutral ice. Stepping up is Savard and rifles in. Far side. Knocked down by Anisimov. Anisimov with a goal tonight. An arm around him from Francois Bouillon. Anisimov continues to battle. It's played there by Mullen. Mullen spins and turns. Knocked down by Anisimov. It's center. Jackets come up with it. Anisimov ahead here for Atkinson. Wrist shot off the shoulder of Peter Budaj.
That's what you like to see. 13 just letting that shot go.
Here now trying to walk to the front of the net is Collins, impeded there by Murray.
Look at the Cornell boys. One bigger than the other.
Jackets. Atkinson forcing a collision between two Montreal players. Jack Johnson steps up. Move behind the net for Markov. Rimmed around the wall. That's Tootin. Tootin dumps behind the net. Johansson. Dubinsky looking to walk out. Protects that puck. Sends it up high. Jack Johnson on there for Umberger. His shot is blocked. Umberger's stick broke. Holds off Giada. Grabs a new stick. And back into the play as the pass for Johansson fails. PK Subban headmans it out of the zone. Captain Giada down the left wing. Right-handed shot down that off wing. Gets by Wisniewski. Ryan Murray is there below the goal line. Off the wall. Away from Dubinsky. Georges steps back into his own zone. Both teams change up as play continues. It goes off the stick of Wisniewski. Played by McElhaney. Into the corner for Wisniewski. Como pitches it along the boards. Pressure coming there from Bourneval. Jackets Como with McKenzie. McKenzie finally able to knock it out of the zone and back into the Montreal end.
Well, the first 4 minutes of period number 3, the Jackets started off. They've got good offensive pressure. The puck below the goal line. Now that has to get back into fold.
Como walking out of the corner in the slot. McKenzie can't get it. There's a shot by Nikitin. And it's off the mark. Savard steps up. There's Letestu. Pacioretty with a stick on it. Chipped off the boards. Backhanded. Knocked down. In the corner, Letestu. Georges gets an arm around him. Pacioretty. Backhanded. Como denied. Hugging that near post was Budaj. Anticipating a shot coming off the wing. Port for Montreal. On to Pacioretty late in the shift. Can't control that rolling puck. Jackets got to be sharp there on the line change. Almost caught with too many men. Chaput down. Left wing. He'll cross the line. Whose shot is blocked. Foligno out of the corner. Sends it up high to Jack Johnson. Johnson battling against Gachelniak. Shot towards the net. Chaput. Oh, Foligno with a high hit on Gachelniak. And Foligno's going to get a penalty there.
Let's take a look and see exactly. Galchenyuk's got the head down, and let's take a look right here. No, that's just a good hockey hit. He's got the shoulder in. He's got the elbow in. Galchenyuk's head is down. You get yourself in traffic like that, you better keep that pumpkin up. You see Eller, he interferes with Johansson as they're coming back through the neutral zone. Be interesting to see what they call it.
Well, the crowd showing their displeasure. And Foligno's in the box.
Let's take a look one more time. Galchenyuk looking at the puck, looking at the puck. Yeah.
Well, we're getting word that they're calling it a hit to the head at 5:53, a 2-minute minor. You heard or at least saw Coach Therrien lobbying for a 5-minute major. Gord Dwyer over at the bench talking to Jackets coach Todd Richards. He certainly doesn't agree with the call. Nonetheless, Jackets are a man short. The second-best power play already with a goal. Now Anisimov lost his stick, and wisely the puck is held by the Jackets netminder McElhaney.
Well, the power play, again, starts off from the face-off, and the Montreal Canadiens tonight have really dominated in that circle. And right now, they want to be able to win that first draw. Montreal loves to get that thing to the point, and boy, can they rifle the puck when you look at Markov and Subban.
Markov looking for Eller. Kachelnik in front, denied. That one tossed right to the youngster Kachelnik. And he was stopped at point-blank range. How about the Ford game summary?
Well, when you look back, period number 1, the Jackets got on the board right away. 2 quick goals to get themselves started. We talked about them not being pretty. Any way you look at it, a 2-0 lead, and then give up that last goal with 8 seconds to go in period number 1. Period number 2 was all Montreal Canadiens. They dominated the zone time. They kept the legs moving, outshot the Jackets. But any way you look at it, still a 2-2 game.
From the draw, Tootin reaching for it. Sent to the point here, falling down is Markov, but McKenzie tried but could not clear the zone. Rimmed around to the near side. Backhanded. Played by Eller as Briere lets it go. Daniel Briere. Eller thrown to the point. Subban reaching for it but unable to keep it in. 1:10 seconds left. Markov walks in. Dubinsky slipped and fell. He's back on his feet. Eller up high. Canadians showing patience here, taking their time. Very deliberate in their play. The shot. McElhaney making the stick save. Coming out. Cutting off the angle here on Subban. Subban. Dishes. Back to Subban again, and it hops over a stick.
Well, again, 76 always looking for that one-timer. I'll tell you, Curtis McElhaney made a big save. In fact, stayed with it. I don't know if he had a chance to get a foot on the second one, but a nice job in front of the net.
There's Dubinsky. Walks it out of the zone. Dubinsky. Anisimov looking to get behind the defense. Brandon Dubinsky. Great work there. Flips it back to Wisniewski, who hammers it deep. And catching Budaj by surprise. It was a high-rising shot. Approaching the 8-minute mark. Right wing feed. Pacioretty had his pocket picked by Umberger and is fired back in. Down to 3 seconds in the Foligno penalty. Steps out. Jackets have killed it off. 4 more shots directed at the Jackets net on the power play. And by my count, that's 13 tonight on the power play for Montreal on 4 opportunities. Pacioretty. Up high, Markov. Looks to the right wing. Quick shot. Sails over top of the net. That off the stick of Reddy Moore. Johansson with Foligno and Umberger. The 3 cross the line. Markov defending. Able to sweep it back out to neutral ice. Jackets will try again. Savard gets it ahead to Umberger, who steers in. Fresh legs come on for the Jackets. Less than 11.5 minutes left here in the 3rd period. A 2-2 tie. Jackets storming to a 2-0 lead. A pair of goals, a little more than 1.5 minutes apart. Late in period 1. Canadians scored with but 8 seconds left in that first period. A power play goal in the second, and that's where we are. With 11:13 left in the 3rd. Tied at 2. Montreal 34-19 advantage in shots. The man in the middle is David Desharnais. Tonight is Ask the Experts night here on Fox Sports Ohio, as you get a look there at David Desharnais. And of course, social media has captured the imagination of everybody around the world. And even the mayor of Montreal is involved. Now, Desharnais was a scratch Tuesday. No goals. A -2 in 17 games for Montreal. But the mayor of Montreal recently, just this past week, tweeted that Desharnais should be gotten rid of by the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the Canadiens were quite upset about it. You could certainly understand as the mayor of Montreal gets involved in a little social media. And Marc Bergevin telling me after the first period tonight, he had to spend 2 hours calming everybody down You have to understand the French and the English media, a very competitive media in Montreal, and once they got a hold of it, that the mayor of Montreal was now tweeting that Desharnais should be got rid of, traded, thrown to the minors, sent to Hamilton, bought out, whatever. And Mark Bergevin just shook his head. He said, why would I have to deal with that?
Well, he's got a lot of buddies in the building tonight. He played for Cincinnati Cyclones. The East Coast Hockey League, was Rookie of the Year of the East Coast Hockey League that year, and they won the Kelly Cup. A lot of friends come up from Cincinnati tonight to see 51 play.
You think with all the controversy in Montreal, of course we were there a few weeks ago, and all the corruption amongst the politicians there, that they'd have better things to talk about than whether or not Desharnais should be moved by the Canadiens.
Everybody's always a coach.
Thrown to the right point. Mark Bergevin was asked after that first period, what's it like? Said it's 24/7 in Montreal, and if you think I've got it bad, how about the coach? He has a minimum of 2 press conferences a day, every day.
One in English, one in French.
Eller, a centering pass knocked down there by Collins. It's set up high and out. We're approaching the midway point of this third period. Jackets played last night. Had a good night's sleep, didn't show up here until late this afternoon, and now have got to keep that energy up high.
Hey, fans of the NHL All-Star Weekend, it's coming to Columbus, January 2015. Find out how you can guarantee your seat right now to see the NHL All-Star Game as well as the All-Star Skill Competition, both right here at Nationwide Arena. Call 1-800-NHL-COLS or visit BlueJackets.com today.
I certainly agree with Mark, of course, formerly worked with Chicago. The Blackhawks, longtime NHL player, said there's nothing like the media in Montreal. Prost tosses into the near corner. Bouncing puck played on that left wing. That's McKenzie. McKenzie crosses the line, chips it by the defender, Bouillon. Canadians attempt to clear, bouncing puck. Prost sends it out. That's Eller with him. Eller in front of the Montreal bench, looks cross ice. Lumbering through and then drilling it is Murray, who did not play in the first meeting between these two teams back in October. Suffering a shoulder injury, but is playing here tonight. Well, the executive producer for Fox Sports Ohio is Tom Farmer. Our coordinating producer for Blue Jackets hockey, Bob Pennell. Tonight's game is being produced ably by Ed Milliken, directed by Brian Filippetti. Our associate producers, Matt Sigafus and David Bachman.
9:18 to go. Need all hands on deck. You got a 2-2 game in your building. Your fans involved somehow, some way, the next 2 or 3 minutes.
We forgot the key guy that keeps it all together, Jesse Jackson, the one and only.
Keeps everybody in line, doesn't he?
Markov cross ice. That's Subban with him. Back to Markov. Markov floats it into the slot, turning. Rennie Bourque stepping up. Subban dancing away. Can't control the puck. There's a holding the stick penalty if I ever saw one. Classic. And Subban is going to get the gate here, as he should. The Jackets will get a key power play here. Subban will go off for holding the stick. We'll be back. At 8:47 remaining. It's Ask the Experts night here on Fox Sports Ohio and FoxSportsOhio.com. The question from Bucky tonight: who do you think has made the most impact on or off the ice? Bill.
Well, that's pretty easy. You go back to number 17 again, and a guy by the name of Brandon Dubinsky leads a team in scoring. You listen to him. When things are going well, he says the right things. When things are going bad, he continues to say the right things. But what he does, he follows it up by an example on the ice.
Subban off. The Jackets on the power play. Their third power play. They are 0 for 2 with 2 shots. And a key chance here to regain the lead. Umberger was drilled and knocked down. He's just now getting out of the Montreal zone. Murray dishes. Umberger tried to refeed to Murray, who's at the goal line. Umberger battles. Johansson reaches for it. Dubinsky is there. Loose puck played by Plekanec and sent back into Jackets territory. Fresh legs come on. Canadians make an entire change. 4 new skaters. Wisniewski, long lead pass here for Dubinsky. Umberger holding that line. Now moving into position. Dubinsky trying to fight through and away from Markov. Bouncing puck. Markov turns it over to Dubinsky. Jackets power play down to a minute 10. Wisniewski, right-handed shot on the left side. On to Murray. Back to Wisniewski. Drills it. Can't save. Budaj back up high and out.
Good to see that shot get through. Good job there by Wisniewski. He had the head up, tried to get himself into that shooting lane, and he did. He was able to hit the net.
He leads the Blue Jackets in power play assists with 5, looking for his first goal. Atkinson bowled over. Gets back up. Pacioretty holding Atkinson at bay. Jackets, 38 seconds left. Jack Johnson will lead the rush. Foligno on the left wing, steers it deep. Out comes Budaj. Eller along the wall. Jackets, Atkinson gets it. Knocked down by Pacioretty. Jack Johnson drills it. Went off Diaz and Wise. Here now, Johnson below that goal line. Walks out. Up high Tootin through a crowd. Blocked in front. Everybody camped in front of that net. 6:55 left. Final seconds of the Subban penalty. Jackets, Atkinson. On to Nick Foligno. Foligno for Atkinson. Atkinson's pass knocked down by Pacioretty. Subban out of the penalty box and moving in. Subban looks, dishes in front. Eller. Eller can't pull the trigger, and making the move across the ice laterally there, and making the stop was McElhinney. Back up high. Sent towards the net. And again, McElhinney able to steer it aside.
Boy, they've got to understand time on the clock. Time of the game. For the third game in a row, you are unaware of really what's going on, and that has to be sharper by the players on the ice, and then a lot of talk on the bench to help out.
Bouncing puck. Race for it. Como gets there first. Tosses behind the net. Markov for Montreal. Up high, David Savard. Chips ahead. McKenzie, Como, rimmed around the wall. Jackets keep it in. Knocked down. And the zone cleared by Markov. The Jackets get it right back, and McKenzie sprints down the right wing. Edges a backhand off into the corner. Far side of the ice. Bouillon. Slips and falls. Played by Plekanec with Travis Mullen. David Savard. Giada takes the hit from the Jackets defenseman. Como late in the shift will lift it up as Giada finishes a check. And then Como drops him to the ice. Those two continue to jab at one another as they head to the respective benches. A shot there sent wide by Desharnais. The teams have picked it up in the hitting department here with 5:15 left. Behind the net, Nikitin can't make the play. Moved by Bourque to the point. Subban floats one in. That's wide of the net. 36 shots now for Montreal. The Jackets have 20. A little more than 5 minutes left in the third. Subban. Left wing feed. Bourque drills it. McElhinney out. Had the angle. Makes the stop. And holds on. Well, things have picked it up in the intensity department. Here, right into your living room. Look at the two netminders. Budaj on the right. McElhinney, who has been the busier of the two, on the left. And how about the Ohio Health great save?
Well, let's go back to the second period when, again, 15 shots came Curtis McElhinney's way. How about Subban letting it go, teeing it up. And then Eller, he coming in, utilizing the backhand, tries to fight it out. There's McElhinney sliding from his right to left and making that save.
From the draw, Jackets, David Savard. Hits it ahead, Eller, able to knock it down. A battle ensues along the boards. Bouillon can't keep it in. He had committed and stepped in. Pressured there by Atkinson. Gets by Johansson. Johansson able to sweep it back into Montreal territory. Bouillon. Right side there for Subban, who spent much of the last few minutes in the penalty box. Hard pass on the left side, and Eller will sweep in. 4 minutes, 22 seconds left. Jackets, Ryan Murray chipped off the glass. Atkinson out of the zone. Long stretch pass to the left side for Dubinsky. Hammers it in. Jackets will keep those shifts short here now with 4:10 left.
That's what you like to see.
Subban bounces one in. Saved McElhinney, and he'll wisely cover up.
Well, that's exactly what you want to see. Again, they get that puck deep. They get a line change. You get fresh troops out. And with 4 minutes to go in the third period, you want to be able to finish this thing off in style. And McElhinney, good read, and especially reacting when he had a chance to see Plekanec breaking through the defense. He takes the whistle.
Jackets have to dig deep here. Played last night in Boston. Plane arrived at 12:45. New Eastern Conference travel. Playing a tough physical game here tonight. Points in each of the last 3 games. 4 of a possible 6. They'd like to make it 6 of 8. Looking for a hero here with less than 3.5 left. Markov. Cross ice. Diaz. Foligno, who certainly has added a spark to the hockey club with his return last night and again this evening. Big lots, big plays. The Jackets score a pair of goals less than a minute and 30 seconds apart.
Yeah, and there's Umberger again, just forcing it to the front of the net. There was a little of the net front presence, but it goes right through the 5-hole of Budaj. And then watch this one. You see Nikitin trip over his own feet. It goes, and as that shot is being taken by Anisimov, it hits the stick, bounces off the defenseman's stick, and pass. Budaj, that made it a 2-0 game. The Jackets rolled in period number 1 only to give up, with 8 seconds to go in that period, a goal that really jump-started the Canadians into period number 2.
Montreal's called a timeout. Coach Therrien wanting to give his players a rest here. With 3:18 left, Todd Richards looking for his club to dig deep.
We talked candidly today about his hockey team and basically finding a way to play the whole game. He says 55, 58 minutes. He says we need more, and right now the Jackets took period number 2 off, but the key is right now you're in a position to still win it.
Face off to the right of Budaj. Derek McKenzie will take the draw against Desharnais and wins it cleanly. Nikitin tosses a backhander. Jackets looking to win a battle on the boards. Como does as he sends it behind the Montreal net. Diaz high off the glass and out to center. David Savard on to McKenzie. Letestu will backhand it. Como racing down that right side. Como from a sharp angle tried to throw it in front. Markov, the active stick, able to knock it down. Como again looking for McKenzie. Far side, that's Nikitin. Reddy Bourque is there. Nikitin slips and falls. Picked up by Pacioretty. No, taken by Como. Great work there. Como top of the circle. Budaj, the stick save. Going crashing into the net, and play is called. On the deflection off the netting. No further play, but Derek McKenzie, Letestu, and especially Como trying to get something going again.
Well, look at the work by Como through the neutral zone. That back pressure ends up stealing the puck, coming back the end of the way. And again, this is at the end of the shift. If he's fresh, they're going to continue to keep that puck moving. Como at least gets a shot away. The Jackets have an opportunity, but tonight now you can see a lot of chatter along the benches. That's great. You got to love it.
Heller, who has dominated the Jackets in the faceoff circle, won 14 of 17 faceoffs. And he's matched up here against Johansson with a key draw. Subban off the wall. Trust. Drop pass. Galchenyuk dumped in. Puck played high off the glass. Waiting for it there. Dubinsky. This is Georges. Hammers back in. Dubinsky looking to clear and does. Subban with 2:15 left. Canadian showing patience here, wanting to control that puck. Crowd trying to ignite the Jackets here. Wisniewski circling the net. Murray waiting patiently. He'll take the pass and lead the club up ice. Murray from center. Backhands in. Jackets will change up the defenseman. Forwards coming over the wall as well. Umberger with that puck. Dishes. Shot by Foligno. And it was blocked, and away goes Bourque. Bourque for Pacioretty. Puts the brakes on. Looks to the point. Shot by Bouillon. Traffic in front. Down is McElhaney, and he covers up. Play whistle down by the official behind the net. There's a minute 35 left and a face-off in Columbus territory. 39 shots now directed at the Jackets net tonight.
No, the Montreal Canadiens, they go low, they'll go right back high again, and when they go low, then they get the convergence to the net. Watch the people around McElhaney. Talk about interference. He gets knocked down. You have Jack Johnson. He's trying to square up, but everybody's taken care of. McElhaney fights it off, makes a good glove save.
Placanitz winning the draw. That's Subban. Backhand behind the Jackets net. Fetter 2. Away from Travis Mullen. Foligno waits left wing. Cruising through the neutral zone. This is Letestu. On for Anisimov. The shot is blocked. Played up but not out. Anisimov had it briefly. Gianna, the Montreal captain, takes a slash at Jack Johnson that goes undetected after he was hit by the Jackets defenseman. A little more than a minute left. Jackets send it down the ice. No icing. Picked up here by Subban. Final minute of regulation. Long pass for Prust. Returning after missing 11 games with a shoulder injury. His backhand pass sails all the way back into the Montreal zone. Missing the two defensemen and Diaz around the net. Georges waits patiently, but they look to center ice. That's Prust again, dropping it back. Jackets, Atkinson shovels it backhand to him. Right side, knocked down, that's Eller. Eller sends it to the wall, played there by Atkinson. Bunted out. Stepping up here is Bourque. Bourque drops the pass. Bourque now looks for it in the corner. Wisniewski. Jackets. Bouncing puck play there by Bourque. Final seconds. Wraparound attempt. McElhaney down. That's shot number 40. I'll give Curtis McElhaney a lot of credit here, as he has faced the majority of shots, almost a 2-1 margin.
This is where, again, look at Johansson's stick. He's on the wrong side. When you have Bourque utilizing his strength, you've got to get on the strong side and push out. And right there, Bourque did a nice job of his positioning. But McElhaney right now, you mentioned 40 shots on goal. He has been the difference in this hockey game. He has battled. He has challenged. That's why right now it is a 2-2 contest.
Kept them in the hockey game as they were outshot 15-6 in the second period. Jackets with 5 shots here in the third. Almost a 2-1 margin, 40-21. Jackets playing their third game in 4 nights and play Sunday afternoon in Ottawa. This is a busy part of the schedule. Todd Richards marking out some orders here with yet another face-off in Columbus territory with 5.1 seconds left. For the third game in a row, the Jackets will go to overtime. They picked up a point, and now will battle 4-on-4 for that second point when we come back. 2-2 the score as we get set to start overtime. How did we get here? Let's take a look.
Well, a lot of things happened on the board tonight, but it was the Jackets in period number 1. Hey, force the net. Humberger does. He finds the 5-hole of Halak. 1-0 game. And then you see Nikitin trip over his own feet. And then the deflection. Up and into the back of the net. Anisimov credited for that goal. And then you see the puck bouncing. 8 seconds to go in period number 1. Alex Galchenyuk, he comes in and makes a beautiful move to beat McElhaney. And then the power play. You see the battle. Look at the presence in front of the net. And Eller coming up. Briere as well as Markov collect assists on that power play goal. And that's where we stand.
Incidentally, 13 of the 40 shots directed at McElhaney tonight have come on the power play. Indians with 4 manpower advantages. The Jackets have had 3. 2-2. 4-on-4 overtime underway. Jackets will pick up a point for the 4th consecutive game. Jack Johnson feeds for 2. Drop pass, Foligno. Stepping away from Gianna. Foligno. Moves the puck up here to Jack Johnson. Dubinsky on that left side. Johnson moving in. Backhands off the goalpost. How many goalposts have the Jackets hit here over this 3-game stretch in 4 nights?
3 tonight.
Tooten drills it. That's why. And it goes off the netting. And out of play.
Well, here comes Jack Johnson. Again, left-handed shot coming down the right side. Defenseman takes away the forehand. What's he do? How about that backhand? Again, short side, right up over top of the shoulder and right into the elbow of that net. Just below that elbow. Nice play by Jack Johnson, getting something towards that net and forced the goaltender to play it.
Anisimov, Como, Wisniewski, and Ryan Murray. Eller is dominating the faceoff circle tonight. Will take this draw. Diaz walks it back to his own goal line. Aaron with Georges. Dishes to the right side for Eller. Puts the brakes on. Eller now steps to center. Galchenyuk rips it around the boards. Eller waits for it to the point. Diaz unable to keep it in. Murray chops it ahead for Anisimov. Good reach there. A drop feed for Como. His shot blocked. Second attempt off the pad of Budaj. He looked near corner, but Budaj was there. Jackets defend. Murray now tosses to the near corner. Stepping up Markov. Blocked by Como. Galchenyuk. Shot blocked. Turned around on the play. Como by Eller. Crowd looking for a penalty call. None forthcoming. 3 minutes. 15 seconds left. PK Subban pressured by R.J. Umberger. Subban fights it off onto Desharnais. Desharnais looking to cut in. Desharnais taken wide. There's Savard reaching for it. R.J. Umberger will pick it up on the left wing. He's got Johansson with him. 2-on-2. Tried to lead Johansson. That pass just beyond him. But Johansson recovers and tosses it back. Oh boy, Nikitin. Here's Pacioretty. Jackets in their own zone. Nikitin coming back after initially falling. He falls again. He's been falling all over the ice tonight. Got to check those skates.
Boy, I'll take a check something.
Here in the offensive zone, R.J. Umberger. Umberger. Double team. Pacioretty. On to Desharnais. Dubinsky. Puck picked up there by Subban. 2.5 minutes left. Crowd trying to encourage the Blue Jackets here. PK Subban hits Crust across the line. Backhands one just wide of McElhaney. Tootin defends against Rennie Bourque. Looking to cycle out of the corner. Drops it back. Dubinsky chipping it by the Montreal defender. Stepping up here now. Tootin on to Dubinsky. Dubinsky away from Prust. Fires from a sharp angle. Those two were teammates with the Rangers. Prust now. A lead pass that misses Bourque. Tootin steps up at center. Feder Tootin. Rink wide. Dubinsky hands the puck to Foligno. Unable to make that play. 1:45 left. Bouillon hitting Gianna. One thing the Canadians have shown when they've had that puck is patience. Plekanec crossing the line. Jackets defend. A quick attempted shot looking for Gianna to redirect. Plekanec along the wall. Jack Johnson right there. Wisniewski trying to hold off Gianna. Gianna walks out of the corner. Gianna flips a high shot that sails into the near side. McKenzie on to Letestu. Letestu down the right wing. Letestu a wrist shot just wide of Budaj. Wisniewski steps up. Letestu will play below the goal line. Tried to feather a pass into the slot. Canadians defend. 1:05 left. Georges. Far side. Final minute of overtime. Lars Eller under the plan being discussed this week by the general managers. No decision. 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 for 5 minutes. They go to 3-on-3 after that, as opposed to a shootout. Galchenyuk to the point. Oh, active stick there, and give Subban all the credit. Was it a high stick? Crowd certainly thought that. Here's Subban dancing away from Johansson. Final 30 seconds. Subban spins and turns. Subban dishes. Pressure coming. Now Johansson under control. Steps to center with Dubinsky. Dubinsky takes the drop pass. Budaj the pad save. Galchenyuk steps away. Johansson, final 10. Quick shot. Budaj! He's got it. As Nikitin got it on the net. Budaj seeing it. was able to glove it and holds on.
Well, they come through the neutral zone. Again, Johansson gets across the line. He wants to make a play, and he waits for some support. That's where Dubinsky comes into the play. Now watch Nikitin come in, and then the one-timer. And for the Montreal Canadiens, they haven't seen number 6 shoot the puck. And the Jackets, when he did get this guy hot, you've got yourself a good scoring opportunity in front of any net.
Jackets have called a timeout here. A key face-off with 9.4 seconds left. What will Todd Richards do besides diagramming a play? Who will his players be out there? Right now, at least the players on the ice include Foligno, Dubinsky, Savard, and Nikitin.
Well, period number 1, the Jackets were 29% in the face-off circle. They have moved that up to 46%. They are in the top 5 of the National Hockey League and have done a nice job overall. And now it boils down to one solid face-off win. One thing that they will do, they will basically, if they win the draw, there will be something laterally across the ice, stretching them out. And then you'll have some front net presence with a little bit of speed with sticks on the ice.
Set for this faceoff. Dubinsky against Plekanec. From the draw, Plekanec able to shovel a backhand out of the zone. Back to make the play, Savard ahead of Pacioretty. We are headed to a shootout. This one will be decided by a skills competition. Jackets 1-0 in shootouts. Montreal 0-2. The final point to be decided when we come back. A look at the goaltenders that will ultimately decide this in a shootout. And incidentally, in that overtime, Jackets had all 4 shots. Montreal did not get a shot on Curtis McElhaney, who finishes up, stopping 38 of 40 shots. That's a season high, by the way, against Columbus. And the Jackets will shoot first. We are awaiting the names of the shooters. I would bet Anisimov will be one. Here's the order.
And I would bet you're going to see 13 in that lineup as well. Oh,
Lechestu, Anisimov, and Johansson. Galchenyuk for Montreal, Desharnais, and Eller, who had that power play goal. So, Jackets shoot first. Mark Lechestu will get the honors here to put the Jackets in front. Lechestu, 1 for 1. Anisimov, and then Ryan Johansson.
Well, you go back to that New York Islander game to start the year, and Lechestu, what a night he had. That was the night of the Zamboni, was it not, Jeff?
Yes, it was. I can guarantee you here, everybody remembers, and the ice will be properly prepared by the superb ice crew here at Nationwide. The officials, by the way, examining it. I remember discussing the situation here that the general managers were a little concerned. And if you look here now at the officials, we have a picture of them. They are checking the ice to make sure that the proper scrape is being done and all the ice shavings removed. So the players involved here can get the necessary shots and stick handling to their liking here.
You know, you could see the auger moving. That was the big key. In New York that night, it was not moving. It was stationary. They were dragging snow.
So Lechestu, Anisimov, and Johansson for the Jackets. Lechestu poised and ready. Galchenyuk, Desharnais, and Eller for Montreal.
Shooting first for the Blue Jackets, number 55, Mark Letestu.
Letestu being introduced. Peter Budaj back in the net. Awaiting word, and here we go. Second shootout of the season for the Jackets. Looking to go 2-0. Letestu comes in. Quickly fires a shot. Budaj, the pad save.
And that's what Mark likes to do. You come in on that backhand side. He has the chance to go back, but this time he hangs onto it, looks to go on that low glove side in between the pad and the glove. Good save there by Budaj.
First shooter for Montreal. 0 for 2.
Shooting first for Montreal, number 27.
Galchenyuk.
Alex Galchenyuk.
He has some speed, this young man.
Picks up the puck at center. Deliberately walks in. Lost the puck. Moves towards the net. Attempts the backhand. And McElhaney slides in front.
I think there was too much thought there by the 19-year-old Alex Galchenyuk. He comes in and loses control of that puck and then comes back, tries to make something out of nothing. And McElhaney stayed right with him. And he's getting a ribbing on the bench by Pacioretty.
Artem Anisimov.
Shooting second for the Blue Jackets, number 42.
Second shot in this NHL season in shootouts for Artem. Credited with a second goal. Here he comes quickly. Moving in, Anisimov. Oh, what a great glove save.
That's his patented move. He likes to be able to get that up just a little bit higher. And Budaj, watch him stay with it. Watch the glove right there. And Anisimov, if he is really hot, he's finding underneath that crossbar.
Shooting second for Montreal,
Up next,
David Desharnais.
David Desharnais. Desharnais down that left side. Dances in, fires a shot and scores.
Made it look easy.
Desharnais in the doghouse in Montreal. According to the mayor, anyway.
Well,
And now, the Jackets need to score to keep this alive. Ryan Johansson. 0 for 1
Blue Jackets, number 19.
on the season. Johansson gets the green light. Picks up the puck at center. Down that left side. Moving in. Johansson denied. Budaj, the winner. Montreal come off the bench. Jackets pick up a point for the 4th straight game, but fall to the Canadiens here in a shootout. For the 3rd straight game, as you get a look once more at Johansson, the Jackets pick up a point, but lose in an extra session. 3-2 the final. We'll be back to wrap it up.